Okay, I just need to get my... where do I get it? I'm looking for the URL of the stream so I can just send it to you. Okay, I got it. Okay, did you get it? That would be again massive delay.
Yeah, I'm on it. It says it's offline, but I guess it's coming.
Okay, let me see. Refreshing. Yeah, starting. It says. Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty awful, but I prefer the quality normally because again, Adam stream because I'm a streamer. I stream just because it's another way. It's faster than actually recording and then uploading. Just for the reason. On the other hand, the quality should be higher on YouTube. Although again, the delay is not really ideal. Okay.
I'm on it.
Cool. So everyone else, we're happy. Are we all here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so pretty brilliant, very complex mission that I put together. Joking, of course. So we have a couple of targets coming down. We are here. Let's say this is okay. There is no briefing. There is nothing. No constraints. No particular targets. We just go do stuff. Touch things in the back. See how it goes. Because if we start introducing too many criteria, too many I don't know, like criteria for the commit, for example, these kind of things, I'd rather leave them for later. I just try to understand how it works, especially from the real point of view. And be advised, this is like the second time that I do a timeline myself. Because again, when we actually I finished putting together this material, then I got a son. So I got stuck. If you have any question, if the volume is not fine, just let me know. And besides my joystick for the end control unit, anything else, I'm gonna use it on the screen so it's easier. Ah, I didn't remember the Tupolev 95 was so ugly.
Unfortunately, old models.
Quite old, I see. Okay. Whoa, volume. Well, we know. You know what? We can actually kill it almost entirely. We don't really need it. Okay, welcome to my office. So, I don't know if you read the articles that I'm putting together. There should be a condition where we should be when we start the mission, which is the, according to the Navy, is the radar sanitization and the mating. So what they do is splitting the airspace into areas in vertically sliced. The leader normally has the higher part, the wingman has the lower part. It's done in 140 degrees, 6 bars, something else I don't remember, but we cannot really do that. So what we normally would do is range search, wide them up, 8 bars, and there we go. So what's the idea? The idea is checking and making sure there are no leakers, call them whatever you want, any contact that is not coming from the AWACS itself, in order to improve the SA. Let's say a contact is notching the AWACS, it doesn't pop up, but we can actually find him by having the radar in this way. Another thing that we should have when we start is the data link. So 013. If you have any questions, stop me anytime. Was it 13? Okay, joystick working, yay. So the only Rio we have is energy, isn't it?
What?
We are the only Rio at the moment that we have here in the channel.
Yeah.
So all this stuff probably is already familiar with it, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For everyone else, in case someone is interested later in jumping in the Rio seat, whenever pause off. Okay, whenever you see the symbol in the bottom comes with the data link. In fact, if I remove the data link from the TID, it goes away. Everything else is something that is coming from the OG9. Now, the most beloved thing from Surface, I guess, NAVGRID. NAVGRID is the granddad, probably, of the bullseye. So, there you go. This is how it counts by default. It locks up to a waypoint. I mean, long story short, is almost random most of the time. So what we're gonna do is changing its speed. Normally I set it to 90 degrees. Ah, by the way, again, it's a brief introduction for whoever is not familiar with the F14 in the Rio. The keyboard there is the cap. The keyboard actually, and the sort of scrolling that I did is the cap. Computer. What does it stand for? Computer? I don't remember.
Computer address panel.
Good boy. Basically, is the again granddad of the MFDs. If you can imagine how it works, from the knob on the bottom, you actually changing the pages on the MFD, and you have all these sub menus. Unfortunately, with the F14 that we have, this is the avionics in this module is the early F14A, so it's something coming from the 60s. It's not ideal, but again, that's what we have. So then we can set the sectors. Normally I set to 3, and the heading in this case we want northwest. 315 should be fine. There we go, much better. So if you look at this screen, we are in the bottom. You see the 2 waypoints and the contact that we have earlier. What I did is turning the bullseye, checking, making it 90 degree, and anyway, now we use a 90 degree angle basically, pointing in the middle at 315, meaning is perfectly one of the arms is pointing to the north, the other one is pointing to 270, and each angle, each sector is 30 degrees. It's important because most of the time we're gonna eyeball the BRAA calls. You can set up to 6 sectors. You can set the maximum width to 180 degrees, so you cannot do 360s. And the TID in this mode is the ground stabilized. Basically, is not different from the F10 view. So if you come here, basically this is what you're seeing. We are here. The contact is up there, and this is fundamentally the same thing that you're seeing. So energy, you're already familiar with the bullseye. I'm not gonna go into the details of the ranges and stuff.
Yeah, it's each T 50 miles on the YY, while the radar indication is 25 miles.
Yeah, it's 20. And yeah.
Okay, my bad, 20.
Yeah, that's fine. Again, a lot of eyeballing. For example, if you're gonna ask a picture, so for example, you can say Dark Spectre request picture. The picture here would be this guy there in the middle. The AWACS can tell you the actual angle, we cannot. So since the sector is 30 degrees, this is kind of in the middle, a bit more on the right, so probably is 10 degrees less than north, so probably is like 350. This distance would be eyeballing like 80 miles, I guess.
Yes, sir.
So again, a lot of eyeballing we have here. Well, aspect and this kind of things, then this information that is going to feel. And the altitude. 2, the number that you see on the left of the icon there is not the altitude, like it doesn't mean 20,000. It is an interval. It starts from 0 to 5,000, then 5,000 to 15,000, 15,000 to 25,000, 25,000 to 35,000, and so on. So 2 meaning the altitude is between 15 and 25. But again, you cannot really tell from the screen. You have to go hook the target and see the details. Meaning when you're doing the BRAA, yeah, you have to remember the numbers. But if you need to provide the information quickly, reliably, immediately, is kind of there's a lot of tolerance you have to consider. Again, doctrine says if the call is not in the tolerance of 3 degrees 3 nautical miles, it shouldn't be considered. But again, for the F14 we have to eyeball a lot. Luckily we can hook the target from the data link, and we have a bit more details. On the top you can see the number scrolling. Again, this is something annoying because the F14A, the version of avionics that came just after, rather than scrolling, basically has 2 rows. So you can see the altitude, the magnetic course, bearing, etc. right away. Way less. I mean, it makes everything easier. That's for the bullseye. The BRAA calls instead. Probably I said BRAA before. Yeah, because by mistake I meant the bullseye. BRAA calls. Technically, F14 shows you a bearing. It's this one, MB349. So magnetic bearing 349. But the bearing on the F14 is not. I mean, the 0 is not the north. Is the nose of the aircraft. So if you're familiar with the intercept, with the lateral separation, all this kind of theories, this bearing is actually the ATA, so the antenna train angle. So it's the angle between your path, basically your vector, and the target itself. So 349 meaning the target is 11 degrees on the left of our nose. It doesn't mean that the target is going 349. Also because if you look at the screen itself, straight on is north, 350 should have been the other side, which is not. So what we can do is actually using the compass on the right, which is not a compass by the way. Normally we eyeball the bearing from there. Again, another problem, you eyeball the bearing, but then you have to consider if the AWACS is working in through magnetic. If you're working in magnetic, sorry, 1 sec. Okay. Sorry about that. You have to consider the magnetic variation, which is not a big deal in this map, Persian Gulf, because it's like 2 degrees on average, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
Caucasus is 6 degrees. So if you have a lot of contacts around, 6 degrees can be a problem, especially on longer ranges. So I mean, you got the idea, a lot of eyeballing here. Any question? Because I'm going pretty fast.
It's all making sense so far.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Let me sort out Mr. Iceman here.
Friendly, BRAA, 140.
Knew it. Jester, why are you touching my stuff? Okay. Okay, cool. So as you can see, basically I set the master app, the tour mode, these kind of things on keybinds, because when I'm doing the test, normally I just spawn in the pilot, set up everything, and then just jump back here. The number here, 35B, going back to the bullseye, because I forgot to mention it before. 35 is basically an estimation of the bearing from the bullseye. So it should be 350, for example, we can call it. Again, there's a digit missing, so it's not really correct. B means that see the vertical line on the right? Every line is 50 miles. If the target is between the bullseye and the first one is A, then it becomes B, then C. So meaning this B means that the target is between 50 and 100 miles from the bullseye. Again, yeah, a lot of eyeballing, a lot of estimation, a lot of tolerance. But again,
Yeah, that's there, and why that numbers and letters are there. It is just in case if you don't have the actual navigation grid on the TID. So essentially, the TID can be turned another way, but the VCS is still gonna overlay the information for each contact in relation to YY.
yeah, exactly. Because this view is the ground TID in ground stabilized mode. You can see the knob on the bottom on the left, is the one on the left. Ground stabilized means bird's eye view, so the top of the screen is north. In fact, as you can see our vector, we are pointing northeast-ish. But the screen itself is there. We can turn and the screen will not turn with us, we stay there. The second mode is in aircraft stabilized, so this is our point of view. There are two ways, two means of display. One is attack, which shows additional information. But for the
horizontal line.
Yeah.
Or shall I say horizontal line?
You should see also probably the ASC. I don't remember if the AC stub works. Shows the ASC as well, with the T basically to guide the pilot, not to the target. I don't remember, but anyway, we don't do STT very much normally. So the vector here is the subtraction of the speed vectors of the F-14 and the target. It took me like 2 weeks to find out what was going on with the vector. So if you're familiar with the Euclidean vectors, you have basically two arrows pointing in different direction. You draw our speed vector, so a vector that is long as, depending on our speed. Another vector is pointing in the direction of the heading, on the bearing, sorry, the heading of the aircraft, and as long as, again, depending on the longer is longer if the aircraft goes faster, and you drag the line connecting the two ends of the vectors, then that's what is displayed there. And it's pretty funny because if you see the difference, the aircraft is going this direction here, so it's going southwest. Then you go there, and it seems that it's going, I don't know, somewhere else. So this works in the speed, actually, rather than showing the heading of the aircraft itself.
Yeah, the actual heading is only displayed in the ground stabilized mode, where any other mode of the TID is actually just going to be displaying the heading bar. Is not actually going to be a heading bar, but it's gonna be more of the speed indicator.
Yeah, which is actually,
so essentially, if
Yeah,
you
go
just go into the oh yeah, it's using the aircraft mode. So essentially, you guys pilots that are seeing this image right now, essentially just imagine that the vector line would just turn the opposite like 180 degrees up. It just means that he would be pulling away from us.
yeah, and not only that, it would mean also that he's faster than us, because the length of
Exactly.
the vector, yeah, is the difference of the speed, basically. Since he's coming in another direction, the vector is longer, because the go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to ask. It's an indication of closure rate, or
Yeah.
Mm,
But in the ground stabilized mode for the TID, then it's actually showing where it's heading along with the speed. Closure rate.
if you go on my website, spend a bit of time doing finding some details about this thing. I'm gonna show you later probably, and I draw basically almost all the possible display depending on the angle. But I'm gonna show you later. Actually, if you can just wait a sec, I'm gonna pop it. I'm gonna link it in Rio. So this is a sketch that I made, so you can see the difference in speed. Hold on, this is the whole article, because without it you can't probably follow. My speed was 400 if I remember correctly, and that's the speed of the target itself. So if he's going 100, we are faster than 300 and so on. And you can see how the vector points around depending on the speed. So the only way that the vector is pointing up if he's actually faster than us. And here we fall into some considerations, because there's an interval that is actually the zero Doppler filter that, I mean, this never finishes. We can carry on with this way until tomorrow probably. Point is, it's a bit messy if you want to understand the geometry from the aircraft stabilized mode. So for the geometry's sake, understanding how you are approaching to the target, the ground stabilized mode is much easier. Probably not better, because if you're quite expert, you can actually work in from this way as well. But this view is much easier, because from this view you can actually tell where the aircraft is going. So basically you are almost parallel with a lateral offset. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, Karen, if you like, you can actually just hook it. Oh goddamn, I forgot about it. When you actually move the screen to another area and zoom in a bit.
Yeah.
Offset, yeah, just offset it and zoom it a bit.
Bit too much. You up?
Up, down.
Yeah, you know, I always freak
Like
out with
this.
there you go.
Yeah, perfect. Now just zoom it out. Zoom
There
it
you
in,
go.
sorry. Yeah.
Actually, something else that I can do is actually get rid of the NAVGRID for a moment. There we go. A bit of less clutter. So this one is our friend. There we go. In range search, I can hook just the data link target. I can hook the radar contact itself, which also means that I cannot IFF it. I can use the IFF function because it uses a separate antenna in a mode that is similar to the pulse mode, and it's gonna like broadcast in front of me and checking for targets, which is actually handy sometimes. But I cannot really IFF them. I need to be in turquoise scan mode, and this creates a lot of collateral discussions about radar mating sanitization and the how you put the antenna, where you put the antenna. But yeah, go ahead, Energy. What were you saying?
No, just listening.
Yeah. So yeah, well, you can tell where the target is going by this this view. Again, this target is from the data link, and you can already see that it's not perfectly matching our radar contact, because we have analog INS, which is pretty crappy. No, actually, it's quite good, but you know, analog compared to digital, it doesn't.
As long as the pilot doesn't break it.
As I said on Discord last time, someone had told the pilot to do some pilot shit. A goose died, so be aware of what you do. Remember, you're not alone. We're sitting in the back.
Yep.
So something else you can do is actually turning on the launch vector, launch zone basically. This is the vector that displays later if the target falls into the shooting parameters. But it's pretty handy to see where the target is going in as well. So again, as you can see from our point of view and the target, sorry about that, we're basically parallel at the moment, almost, with a lateral separation. So the almost zero background of this mission is we are flying between waypoint 1, waypoint 2, waypoint 3. We have some contacts coming up. AWACS call us. We recast the picture. We go intercepting, trying to do a timeline, and then something else happen. Not really, nothing fancy. But the launch zone is good to see the geometry. Also because for the interception, but we're not gonna go into the details at the moment because it's too wide. I'm still working on it, trying to summarize it, squeeze it, but it's a very broad topic. Sorry. But what you can do with the launch zone is actually understanding a bit better where the target is going. For example, if you go, because sometimes, for example, in this case, the target is quite slow, so that the target is not really visible, the vector. Sometimes you have, I don't know, 10, 12 symbols on the screen. Can be a bit messy. So you can just click on the launch zone, you see them a bit better. Make sense? Again, nothing really incredibly fancy or interesting so far. Okay, so timeline that I wrote down has some ranges that I work out myself, depending on the weapon that we use the most. As you know, we mostly have Phoenix, the A Mark 60, the C Mark 47, A Mark 47. You know the history already of the missiles? Or the differences?
Yeah, different guidance system, different rocket motors, hence the flight of the missile changes.
Yeah, we like the big one. We like the Mark 60. So what I did is sitting down, firing like 4,000 missiles against different targets with different altitude aspects and stuff. And I put together the data. And the C as a digital seeker, so technically it should be a bit more reliable against countermeasures. Reality is the A is much better for the simple fact that it goes much faster. Countermeasures in DCS work on a base of basically percentage. So, and the AI or anyone, I mean, just have to spam more of them, and there's a higher chance that the missile just goes for the rabbit. So, no, having a much faster missile with a longer range, most of the time is much better than actually having everything more reliable. When we studied the very first time that we did some tests with the F-14, we did it with NEC and someone else, I don't remember. The first thing we did is killing NEC at 80 miles, because people normally don't expect this missile to be to have such a range. So you can fire a turquoise scan, nothing pops on the target, and you just, you carry on flying. You don't even crank sometimes. You just basically fake it, and at some point the missile will come down from, I don't know, 60,000 feet above, going down at still with a lot of energy still, like Mach 2, and the target has like 5-6 seconds to react. Although real life should be like 16 seconds, but the implementation here is a bit different, because at the moment the Phoenix is working as an M20, which is a plus, meaning if we lose the track, if we lose the contact, the missile will fly to the position where it was supposed to go and then turns active. This shouldn't happen in reality. In reality, is the WCS, so the F-14, that tells the missile to go active. So we are sort of cheating. On the other hand, we have no idea when the missile goes active, so calling pitbull, this kind of calls, we cannot. We simply cannot. So I don't know. I'd rather have the real, the real implementation. Blur is working on it as far as I know. At some point, hopefully, we get it. All clear so far?
Yep.
Someone fell asleep?
No worries.
No.
If it gets boring, just let me know, please. We can eject the pilot and see, have a good laugh. So the original timeline sees an employment at 20 miles. But again, we can kill someone. The longest kill that I scored is 130 miles, which is much farther away than actually the ability of the AUG-9 to pick up contacts. In fact, the contact was like an Antonov something, massive transport plane. In a more realistic environment, the target is fairly aware that he's actually playing a video game. So normally we can limit the range to 35 miles against a maneuvering target. 35 miles with the Mark 60, pretty okay. 30 miles is better with the C Mark 60. 47, sorry. So what I did is taking the timeline and spreading it. On top of that, we decided, especially Entropy was a bit pro to the fact that we want to avoid merge. Again, it makes sense, especially with the 130 seconds, because we fly in a fairly modern environment. So you're gonna merge. Maybe you have all the advantages in the world, but you are flying against an F-18 that just pulls a massive angle of attack. Helmet-mounted devices, or whatever it's called, looks at us, 9x, and we're dead. Even if we have all the advantages in the world, we're simply
Actually
bit.
not.
Sorry?
Actually, we are not. Energy is my witness. During the MQT check for me, I was going against the F-18, and what happened was basically we first did a BVR, hit it with Phoenix, then we banzaied and we went into VVR, and he shot at us with a 9x and we defeated his missile, and then it was just playing on our strength, our power, and we got the tracking gun kill on him.
Okay, what are the chances of defeating 9x? Like 1 out of a million, so probably you're the luckiest.
Actually, we trashed it too.
Okay, I'm going.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
actually,
going.
yeah,
Okay, let's
two
go.
of them.
See ya.
And you know what? Basically, what are the chances? Ask that fighter pilot who was basically flying a strike plane against the strike horn, against the Super Hornet, and defeated the 9X in real life as well.
I never managed to defeat one. I mean, no matter the aspect, and I did a lot of tests against it, and I've probably been unlucky. Again, but this is the thing. DCS works on percentage, so probably if you get like good or lucky randomly generated percentages, then you can actually work it out.
I should start playing Lotto.
But yeah, I did some tests like 39x, never defeated one. But my point is, even if you have the advantages, is enough, to just, it takes a second for a more modern aircraft to just turn around, or not even turn around, because they are all aspect, whatever they want, they fire for whatever they basically any aspect, and kill us. So against similar age aircraft, even MiG-29, this sort of more merging oriented fighters, then we are happy. But again, 9x helmet mounted devices gets a bit more stressful. We can do it, of course we can do it, but I don't really like it. Another reason is the fact that I tested the speed of the missiles and the acceleration of the missiles. The AIM-120 accelerates much faster than the AIM-54. So if we fire both at 10 miles, probably end of the day we kill, I mean, the other one kills each other, but the 120 probably kills us faster than the Phoenix. Again, not really matters because probably we were gonna all die anyway, but you know. Anyway, generally speaking, we want to avoid it. And we have, so just to recap the whole thing, we have longer range and lot of power, we have a lot of endurance, and we have missiles with the again longer range, and we are a bit behind in terms of technology. It's better if we don't merge unless the situation is okay. So timeline, spread it out, and the employment, rather than being 20 nautical miles for the AIM-120, I set it to 35. But here's the thing, the timeline is just a reference, and every distance should be no later than this distance indicated in the timeline, but then it's up to you. So these targets here, for example, they are bombers, we can engage them from 50 miles. So it's not that we're gonna fly into 35 miles just to employ the AIM-54 in that conditions, if we can do it earlier. Air combat is very flexible, although I'm pretty new to it, but immediately realize it's very flexible, very fluid, very fast. If you start, looking at the numbers and wasting your time trying to implement something, no, it just doesn't work. End of the day, when you sort of know what you're supposed to do, then you can just go ahead and use whatever knowledge, experience you have, and just try to make it work. Make sense?
Yes.
So, okay guys, choose a name for the AWACS. What do you prefer? Magic, Darkstar, someone else?
Magic's fine.
Magic, Spectre 1-1 picture. So, Energy, what would be the reply?
Magic Spectre 1-1 contact BRAA 120 50 nautical 15000 declare hostile.
Why 120?
Oh, you'd actually want me to give a heading of the video.
Sorry.
Yeah, so basically that would be Magic Spectre 1-1 contact BRAA 350 for 80. Angels 2-2. Well, that at least was the last one that I saw in the stream.
Something that
hostile.
Yep, no, that's correct. Something that someone buggered the hell out of me about it is, and it's actually in the Sidra incident, and you can actually, they run into the same problem. Angels is for the friendlies and 1050 for the hostile. If you check the fourth part about the crew comms, the article that I wrote, there's the link to the whole audio. It was the Sidra incident. It's basically 2 F-14 that kills 2, what was they? MiG-23, don't remember. And at some point someone asked the Rio, the Angels, and he gives the Angels of, I don't remember if he is Angel or the target Angel, or the other one wanted the other information. So it's actually a good habit. Angels for the friendlies and 1000 feet for the hostiles. It's never gonna be a problem, but and I'm just saying that because someone, I don't remember who, basically told me this thing like 25 million times until I got the habit of it. But yeah. Everything else is fine. What about the bullseye? How would it be? There's someone else that wants to answer if you want. Otherwise I keep bothering you.
Oh, and that was a bullseye call. My bad, because I actually called 350 for 80. So basically off the YY. It was not an actual BRAA. The actual BRAA would be Magic Spectre 1-1 contact single 345 for 80 miles. Correction, I make that 90 or so, right? 95.
Sorry, a second. Sorry, all good. Okay.
So
Sort it out.
95 miles, 22,000 hostile.
1 sec. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry, I missed the call. By sort of 340? No, probably 343, 345, something like that. For 80 miles, 22,000, something like that. What was it? Hostile.
Yeah.
Single group. Well, it should be single group. Should be in the head of the call, but it's fine. Actually, it depends. And don't rely too much on my comms. We have people that is more suited to do these kind of things. We have real life AWACS in the group, so better double check with them about comms. So we have the picture. What do you do after the picture? Technically, you should do a point of assess. So basically, you should have the target on the radar, and you start building your assay. I see that something wrong with my radar. Let me have a look. Yeah, this one should be at 130 degrees. And the idea is checking as much space as possible. So we already have the target there. We're not relying on the data link. And next step is evaluating if the target actually meets the commit criteria, which are quite a lot. So for example, the aspect of the target, the mission task, there are a lot of parameters. But let's say that in this case we already know this is our target because we are, I don't know, defending the area, let's say, from these bombers. So we are committing. The call is very similar to the one to the picture, basically, actually to the answer of the picture. So it should be Magic Spectre 1-1 commit, and you can add the YY call or BRAA. And the point is, okay, we're committing to this group. Here's the thing. I keep finding, and speaking with real life pilots as well, different things about the commit. Because, for example, the P825 says that you commit to the picture. Some pilots said that you commit to the target, to the group, actually. So I'm not really sure which one is correct. Take both what I'm saying with a bit of grain of salt. But since you can actually deploy, let's say, your wingman to a different group, then I could imagine that you are committing to the picture. Also because in the picture, if there is any group that is not related to what you're doing, normally the AWACS told you, the AIC tells you. I don't remember if they call it like non-factor or just monitoring or just... Anyway, normally the target that come in the picture, unless they are removed basically, and it's clearly specified that are not pertinent, these are the one that you're committing to most of the time. Again, grain of salt, we should check with the actual AIC. Okay, we're gonna commit. What you do next is actually correlating, making sure that the readings are correct, which is a big thing for us because we are working with the analog avionics. I don't know if any of you had any issue with the INS, but if you have issue with the INS, I mean your position can be like even 20 miles from the actual position. Especially in the beginning, the first release of the F-14, it was suffering from lag. So when you were lagging or your pilot was lagging, your INS was just going, getting all the spikes as actual movement. End of the day, your position was like 50 miles away from where you were. So when you do a black hole, if your position is 50 miles from where you're supposed to be, it doesn't work. Then the other problem of the correlation, again, as I already said, is the magnetic or true bearing. I don't know if the 1/32 is a standard. I think they are through. I'm not sure, but we should discuss that probably with the AWACS, because again we have the problem with the magnetic variation because it's not calculated by in any place. So either you add it and remove it all the time, and it gets a bit confusing. It would be better if you can just use magnetic. That's it. And the other problem is yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree. Just go with magnetic.
Yeah, it's much easier for us because here is not really a big deal. I mean, you can, when you eyeball 2 degrees, it's not really that much of a tolerance.
Because even the A10C Just can't remember right now, but I know that even the 8NC is actually using. I know that for one system it's using magnetic, and the other one is actually showing through. So it's messed up.
Yeah, magnetic is much easier. Although the problem with magnetic is that it changes in the map itself. If you have seen my keyboard page, I wrote down the TACAN INS procedure to fix the TACAN procedure to fix the INS, and I wrote down the magnetic variation of the TACAN stations, and you see that it changes. Sometimes even quite a lot. But again, here 2 degrees in Persian Gulf, we don't really care. 6 degrees or more, it's starting to be something that you should take into account. So going magnetic for us is much easier. And the other problem is the bearing. As you can see here, we are in bearing 335, but it doesn't make any sense if you think about it. That's because that's not it's not related to the north, it's related to the nose. So 335 meaning is 360 minus 335 degrees to the left. Make sense?
Yep.
Don't ask me why, but this is how it works. Which is actually good because, again, this is the antenna train angle. When we do the intercept, maybe it comes handy. But especially in the beginning, I was like, why on earth are you displaying this value rather than the normal bearing? And the very first time that we did some practice with the timeline, I was like, oh, now how do we do it? So what I did is eyeballing the compass on the right, which is not a compass, the HI. How is it called, that one? Is the horizontal? It's not the horizontal. Anyway,
It's the HSI is the horizontal
HSI.
attitude indicator, but the other one is the ADI.
Yeah, it has a different name. I don't remember. It shows the TACAN distance as well in the middle. Which
Azimuth direction indicator.
Yeah. But anyway, so in this case, if I have to say a BRAA, I'm gonna eyeball from the right, and I would say probably like 010 or 0 even. Again, the problem with not having the track IR is that I cannot really move my head there, so I have the parallax effect and all these kind of issues, so I can't really read it properly. Shall we say 0? Or 010? So the BRAA for that target there would be, let's say in this case 010. Distance is displayed, 97.7, so 97 miles. And the altitude again, we either wait for the TID to cycle, so it takes a bit of time, 20,000, or we can use the cap here and display it from the cap here. Energy, you're familiar with this stuff, I guess.
Yeah, number 4.
Yep. Good. So the correlation normally comes down to call sign, of course, BRAA call, and declare. Declare is, so who is this guy? We had issues in the past with, because it's not that really black and white. You don't have hostiles and friendlies. You have boogies. You have the outlaws. But let's call this. Let's say that this one is just hostile. You're gonna declare. So actually, the errors come back saying normally Spectre, Magic, BRAA or Bullseye, hostile. And next step is actually starting to get into, something more real, because so far this is all steps that come basically before what would I say, actually turning to the target, starting to actually thinking about employing weapons and this kind of stuff. Targeting would be the next step, around 45 miles, so we're pretty far away now. But something that we actually introduced that we can do basically anytime is this section plan. This is not, you can't find it anywhere in the doctrine. Something that we actually made it up, but it was actually making sense. Is sort of short briefing to the crew with the plan. So what is your contract basically by default? Because technically you should have a distance which is set by default timeline 20 miles. That you do the sorting automatically. Are you already familiar with the sorting plan?
Yep.
Well, in case you're not, the leader gets the left lead high, So if the target is separated by azimuth, leader gets the left. If by range, the leader gets the lead, so the one the closer. If by elevation, the leader gets the higher one. So again, the sorting plan technically is a contact is default.
User disconnected from your channel.
So essentially, the lead is gonna get the high, closest, and
Left.
Left, yeah.
Yep. And again, this is all technically by default, so technically there shouldn't be any plan. So what we're gonna do normally is just carry on, or do all your comms or the middle step, 20 miles. You employ, you crank, and the sorting should be done by default, etc., etc. But you know, especially since we are pretty new to these things, we decided to introduce this section plan. In this case, let's say it would be the plan would be, I don't know, skate. Let's say the friendlies are on the right, so skate east. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget. We know that targets are not maneuvering fighters, so we can have a bit of range. Let's say, what would you suggest, for example? What would be a good range for the Phoenix against non-maneuvering targets?
Something in between 40 to 70, 60 miles.
Yeah, I will go for 45, maybe 50. It's up to you. Choose a number.
Yeah, let's just say, no, 55, 60 miles.
60?
60 is maybe pushing it. Let's say 50, yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind, we haven't set already. So as you can see, we are at 25,000 feet. We're not really high, but we can build up speed. We can build up altitude later. So we can actually fire from this position if we get a bit faster, but it would be a bit of a stretch. So let's get to a position where you can actually actually let's say see the waypoint 2. Let's say this triangular shape basically is our these are the friendly lines, let's say. So let's try to stay fairly close without shooting, I mean, from 100 miles. So yeah, probably 50 miles is fine in my opinion. Again, a lot of eyeballing here. 50 miles is basically between us, because the target is 100 miles. Is basically almost where the waypoint 2 is if you just drag the line to the southwest. So yeah, 50 miles is fine. Well, skate. We're gonna. Have you already read something about skate, short skate, Banzai?
Yeah, skate would be just turning away. Banzai is actually going into a merge. I don't know what the short skate is.
So I did the math again. Haha. So skate, basically what you do is going out. Out is means you basically you turn cold basically. Before door. Door is the desired out range. So basically it's a range where you are pretty safe and sound. You have enough space to do a launch and decide, so a banzai later. Against AIM-120, I did some tests. I did some math. 21 miles is fairly okay. Again, all the numbers in the timeline are subject to change depending on the target and other conditions. So skate, normally you tend to launch in our case at normally 35. This will be 50, and you want to go out at door, which will be 21 miles. So probably for in this case will be much earlier. Short skate instead is similar to skate. You wanna go cold, you wanna go away, but you abort. Abort is a maximum performance turn, and you want to go cold, so you go away, and not closer than MAR, which is the minimum abort range, or maximum abort range, I don't remember. So MAR is the limit where if you go closer than MAR, you can be hit by a missile that is flying. Against AIM-120, I set it to 40 miles. I did some tests. 40 miles is pretty okay, but it means that you can employ at 20 miles, support the missile during the crank, and the maximum performance turn at 40 miles, and it works. If you get closer, you may maybe get hit by a missile that is already flying around. I mean, short skate is pretty close again, 40 miles. Skate instead is much more relaxed maneuver, let's say, put it this way. Well, banzai, yeah, you just go ahead for the merge. So we don't wanna we don't want to get too far from our lines, so we're gonna skate. We're gonna turn cold. We fire 50 miles and we go to the east. That would be the plan. And then we can add, I don't have a wingman here, if we want any missile in any specific condition, you can add it. So for example, let's say the target is 1, you can say 1 each, so 1 missile each. There is a quote that I put in my article about the how do you sort out these kind of things when you have multiple contacts. So if you're in TAC scan, if any of us sees only one target, then this fighter doesn't shoot. So let's rephrase it a bit better. If I'm the wingman, I see 2 targets. If I'm the leader, I see only 1. Then the wingman shoots 2 and the leader shoots none. So who sees actually fires. Make sense?
How so?
Then technically the wingman should go on STT on his target. The wingman should stay TAC scan. I put this stuff in the article, but it's not really something that we can. I mean, we can discuss about it, but it's not really worth it. Really important at the moment. So, any suggestions? What would be the next step? Your I don't know. What do you think?
Next step as in?
In the timeline. So then you have the. I'm gonna tell you. You have the targeting where we actually declare the target, which should be 45 miles. The meld when you put the radar where it's supposed to be at 40. So if we say we're gonna play at 50, meld will be at 55. Target will be at 60.
Yeah.
Because basically we are spreading out the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be a tactical range call that is made to make sure that everyone is on the same page. But if the timeline changes, it doesn't really work, and the F-14 is the only one that uses this timeline, so I don't think that we can. I put it in the article, but probably we can easily skip it. So my point was, if we employ F-35, meld is at 40, targeted is at 45. If we employ the 50, then meld is 55, targeted is at 60. So what would you do since we are at, what was it, 90 miles? 94? 97? 96. So what would you do just to let these 36 miles pass? Suggestions?
No, I would actually look for an advantageous position.
How would you do that? Oh, anyone can intervene, just, because it's something new for me as well, so let's make these a bit more interesting by saying something intelligent, otherwise I keep talking myself, which is not
actually based on the anyone wants to add before I go on?
Gate climb.
Yeah, you can. I would actually offset it right. So basic collection, I would offset the target even more to the left. So basically, I would instruct you to go slightly right.
This one, hold on, standby. Okay, this is much easier for you to understand because the aircraft stabilized is for the geometry, for the offset, calculating the offset. This view is much better. So a problem that we used to have, and we still have, is that we charge straight ahead. Like I don't know how to pronounce it in English. Is Don Quixote, Miguel de Cervantes, the guy that was charging the windmills. You're familiar with that? So basically, we charge straight on, and then we run out of options. That's what we always done. Most of the people actually do here. And I was reviewing the stream of Tactical Pascal. He did the controller, what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? I don't remember. Because I'm non-flying.
I was in the air.
Yeah. Have you seen it? How it went? Basically, both the F-18 and the F-14, there was no communication. Basically, everyone just ended up in the same place, and the AI sees everything. Just went defensive, down to the ground, sees everything. So immediate build is SA, just fire some missiles here and there and kill basically almost everyone. Because everyone basically charged straight ahead. And this is when you can start talking about the intercept, especially, but even more interesting, the lateral separation, which is something I'm gonna build some documentation on it. Long story short is, don't charge straight ahead. Put yourself in a position with a bit of offset, like as Energy said, So you have options. So if you have options, you can abort, you can go away, you can crank, you can defeat a missile that is in the air, these kind of things. But if you just charge straight ahead, your options are limited. Yeah, you can turn, but
Yeah,
the
but-
fighter.
but-
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but not just that your options are limited. Also, you're gonna hit the ZDF or the MLC, right? The
Exactly.
moment he's gonna turn around, you're just gonna fuck yourself.
Exactly. We have, as I said in like 3 hours ago. Oh man, speaking too much. We have endurance, we have power, we have longer range. Let's use it. So we want to go in a position where we can actually dictate what to do, and we can do it. We have all the means to do it. Moreover, because we don't want to merge. So technically, there should be all the theory between the antenna triangle, the target aspect, the slant range. Basically, you're gonna build like a triangular shape, which is the intercept triangle. You can go into the details of the angles and these kind of things, but no, I'm gonna take this concept, then apply them just to the concept of lateral separation, stressing how important it is actually building some offset and a bit of space. By doctrine, you should have 40,000 feet of lateral separation, and you have certain type of maneuvers to do depending of the aspect of the target. But again, we don't. How often do we do VID? Never. We don't form up with the target because we don't do VID or these kind of things. So I don't know. It's just a lot of concepts, a lot of words that kind of sound empty. End of the day, at this point. So just to recap a little bit, we want to build a bit of space and put ourselves in a good position. So, anyone has an idea? We got the offset right so far. Any other idea?
Climb and speed.
Yeah, that's definitely. But what about the position? Do you want to turn left? Want to turn right?
Basically, I'm thinking about the opposite thing, because we will be skating to the east, so to the right. I would basically put myself maybe offsetting the... it's hard to tell. I don't have that much experience.
Oh, me either. No worries.
It's... How much is it, like 30 degrees off during crank?
Up to 50, we can turn up to 65, I think is the antenna
Yeah.
limit. But normally put
Yeah, that's quite
60.
a lot.
Oh yeah. I saw the pictures
Yeah,
of the radar of the OG9. I mean, the actual dish is a massive. I love it.
Yeah, you can actually see it on the image, right? That's the dash is coming from the aircraft left and right to it. That's the actual antenna horizontal scan, right? Because it's opened up.
Yep.
So that's how much the antenna can actually move off the center.
Yeah, it's a lot. So according to the doctrine, normally what you do, I mean, you want to build like this triangle and do the intercept. So the options that I see is either you turn north, and then basically you meet in the middle. It's not that you meet, but you're gonna employ in order to have the missile meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
If you turn right, the missile has to probably do a longer, longer path, probably cover more space.
Yeah, but that depends. You can actually shoot it as it is and turn, right?
Yeah, that's the point. That's why it's difficult, to figure
Basically,
out what you want to.
for any missile shot, you wanna lead it.
Yep.
So that's a one-on-one rule in the employing the missile, right? Lead it because it's gonna have a shorter path. It's gonna do less maneuvering.
Definitely. But in this case, I said there are no many constraints. But let's say there is an SA6 out there, then you may be forced to reevaluate your position. So
Yeah.
all these ideas is just to try to put in your mind, in mine as well. Look around, think about where the threats are, think about your options. Don't just charge straight, never charge straight. Just try to build something that is different. Because even if you do the wrong choice, we have a lot of range anyway. You can always go gate, climb a little bit, and get 5 miles, 10 miles closer, and the missile's gonna hit anyway. But again, don't never charge straight on. Try to be flexible. In this case, what I would do is probably turning north. Turning north, employing, cranking east. Because again, I'm not going pure. I'm leading. I'm leading according to the vector of the target. What we do at the moment is actually going pure, which, in my opinion, doesn't really make much sense. Even if you have no background about aviation, you don't really go. Why would you go pure? I mean, it's like firing a bullet. Think about it. You are basically anticipating the movement of the target. If you played Arma 3, whatever other game, you have to anticipate the movement of the target itself. So going leading is a bit better. Would it make sense? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't sound really happy.
No, I'm happy. It's about not limiting your options, as I see it.
Yeah.
Yep. So leading would be better, but do we want to lead in this case? We can do whatever we want. I mean, we can always restart from scratch.
I guess against the bear it's not such an issue, but against a maneuvering target it would be.
Spoiler alert, we'll see it later. So in this case, so what do you suggest? Turning north, turning east? I mean, towards the north, towards the east.
Yeah, I would actually just head east, in my opinion. So basically, I would actually slightly crank it to the right, and then actually crank it back left onto the target. So I will come in a flank, and then you can actually decide it if you want to pure it, or you want to lead it, or you can just go out. Also, you're coming from the side, so you're actually dictating with the aircraft and itself this closure rate and everything, unless he's turning on to you.
See, something that we haven't discussed is what's your objective? What is your objective in this scenario? Do you want to kill the target? Do you want to scare it off because you are just escorting? Depending on what you do, you can actually also change this kind of things. In this case, we want to kill, so we don't wanna talk too much about these options though. So, okay, Iceman, it's your turn. Nope. How many degrees? 30 to the right.
You got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it to the side of the screen, but without losing. Let's see if it's enough.
Copy.
Do we keep it?
Yeah, he's still in.
Okay, so range 91 miles. So we're gonna. The closure will be. I mean, it's not as much as it would be if we just go pure. So, do you want to accelerate? We are at Mach 0.6 at the moment. We are 25,000. Because if you go gate now, we have a lot of fuel. But you can go to gate now, you can go later. What do you think? Sorry.
We are already higher than him. I wouldn't want to go any higher because of the radar. And our speed is... I would definitely pick up
Copy
speed.
that. Copy.
See, the problem of Iceman is that you cannot really tell him, okay, go Buster. I'm afraid that he's going like gate.
Nope, it's burner. You can hear it.
No, I'm saying you can try to adjust a
You
little
got
bit.
it.
Oh, yeah, this sounds fine. 80 miles. I'm gonna
On it.
turn. 80 miles. At 70 we decided to do the targeting. Meanwhile, you can have all the updates from the AIC. If you want to stop him, you can call Judy. Judy is the brevity, just like shut up.
Yeah, Judy, you're just taking the control of the intercept.
Yeah. I don't understand. Am I going too slow now?
I'm on it.
Yeah, you are going to.
10 degrees left.
Roger that.
Because at this moment, let's just say we are intent on killing him.
Yeah. I would climb if I were you, actually going up to 30 at least. Because again, this is a bomber and a maneuvering target. He's not gonna defend that much, even if he's lower. Is such a massive target. What do you think?
Yeah, true.
Climb 5,000. Do we have a climb 5,000? 5,000.
Copy.
70 miles. So targeting. There are quite a few things that I had the other day after I spoke with Gudak. A lot of parameters, a lot of things. In this case, basically, we're telling everyone we are targeting on this target here. How many times I said targeted? Anyway, call is basically a BRAA call again, but with the word targeted. If you say target, you're just giving the instruction directive of someone to target something. So the leader can actually say target to the wingman to something else. In this case, we're just telling to everyone. So it would be like Magic Spectre 1 targeted, BRAA eyeballing for the win, 340, 350, 350, 70 miles, 22,000. Would it make sense?
Yep.
Again, the BRAA is not really the best thing ever here. Or you can use the YY if you prefer, if you just switch to the Y.
If you're using bullseye.
Yeah, you can see 3-4. You can use using bullseye 340, 74 miles, because it says on the top, as you can see, 22,000. Again, the word is targeted, and I'm stressing it because I always write down and say target, which is actually you should target something rather than I'm targeting something.
Yeah, you're not telling AIX to target something.
I mean, you can. In fact, when I did, it's on my YouTube channel as well. When we did this thing with the Tamper, I kept telling him target. He was actually replying me, okay, I'm targeting, basically. That's what he was replying me. I wasn't understanding because it was the very first time that I was doing these kind of things. I was like, okay, cool. Let's go ahead. Yeah, embarrassing. Okay, so next, I guess we'll keep turning inside.
Yeah.
This part would be much better with a pilot.
40.
So at 65 we're gonna oh sorry, I screwed up with the timeline. We are at 17 on the 60. Okay, let's pretend it didn't happen. Let's fast forward until 55. I wrote down 70 for whatever reason, then I wrote down Meld 55 and I said, oh, 50 miles for targeting? That's a lot. So pilots, is this boring for you?
No,
Not at all.
Not at all. I'm learning a lot here.
Magic stuff on the back.
Roger
Yeah.
that.
So we'll do Meld at 55 and employment at 50. Meld basically means, see, we're still in the radar sanitization mode, so we're still scanning the whole lot. When we meld, we are gonna point the radar there. Because we have the radar return, you can see on the DDD. Yeah, have you seen that one?
Bleep.
Yeah, basically a bleep. It's 8 bars, so it takes a bit of time. Oh, besides, 57 miles.
Yeah, he's lower than you, so it's actually scary.
No, it is.
You need to wait till the antenna is lower than,
Mm.
right, till the antenna is down low.
You can see a bit of shade at the moment. Okay, 55 miles. Spectre Meld. So Meld, we basically put the antenna where it belongs, where it should be. Taco scan, auto is coming. It would be much easier. At the moment we have to do it manually. Taco scan manual, and just, oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. We go back there and see if we see something.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, 53 miles. Now, let's do some bit of show off, bit of Rio magic. What you can do now is IFFing them, because these are the returns from the radar, not the data link anymore. So I'm gonna quickly show how it works. Press IFF here. There is. If you see a single line here, is an hostile. Or actually not hostile, but something that is not replying positively to the fact that it's friendly.
So basically, no change, hostile, change, friendly.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Then you can come here and say this guy is hostile. And now see that it's
By the way, we're gonna lose him about now because he's blinking.
yeah.
Must be the altitude.
Yeah, probably. Gonna take the antenna down a little bit. Actually, I mean 4 bars. Oh, there it's coming back. There we go. It's much easier when you actually do. But when we are talking, I just connected the joystick and that's it. And the button box that I have on the thingy. So you know, I have to use the mouse and stuff. It's much easier when you actually in the correct, format. You're just focused on doing what you're doing. So we see both of them at the moment. We can fire both of them or one. Maybe you can fire one, and then do some real stuff, some maneuvers. So we set the employment. After the employment, because there is no sorting here basically, because let's say there is one target and that's it. We decide to crank. We decide to crank east. Again, crank, you're already familiar with it. We cannot really crank too much to the east at the moment. Because we need to sustain the missile. There's a problem. So as I said before, ICW says that has the missile to go active, but it doesn't work at the moment. We don't know when the missile goes active. So yeah, we have to, I don't know, use a bit of fantasy, I guess.
That or we rely on the TID because the TID is actually gonna show time till impact, and you can actually just say, hey, 15 seconds before or 20 seconds before time to impact when the missile goes active, and then we can just forget about it.
It should be 60 seconds, yeah, but the problem is that the timer is totally off the chart. Sometimes it says like a minute with the target like 10 feet away. Sometimes it just carries on forever. It's not something that is updated in real time, it's just an estimation when you shoot. So yeah. Later, the timer will actually blink when a WCS commands the missile to go active, so it will be much easier. Starts blinking, okay, Pitbull, let's go off. Where are we now? What distance?
Make that 55, 53. Yeah, wasn't much off.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna shoot now. I'm a bit late, but because I was showing the IFF thing. Okay, Fox 3. Now we try to crank, but we cannot really crank. Actually, we have to change our plan to support the missile. How do you get rid of this one?
So you can actually crank it to the west.
Yeah. Because it takes quite a while for the missile to get there. We should have probably go gate a little bit.
Roger.
Left 45 or more. Because you're on the edge of the left-hand side, so essentially you can turn almost 180 the other way.
It's up to you. I can do it more or just keep it there. I mean, I keep keeping the target on the edge of the cone.
Turn more.
It's not easy with the bloody mouse. The Iceman. Okay, we got the track back. Okay, so options in this case. We have two big options. We can actually dive and turn off the Meld clutter, which would be the correct one. At the moment, we can also switch to pulse mode and lock it in single target. So
yeah, if it's a single target, I would just lock it up from the get-go. If it's a multi-shot, I would just stay in track while scan and go MLC off. Force the nose of the aircraft down, and I would put my antenna 3 degrees up.
Yeah, we can do that. It's probably... Hold on, let me check. If it's just my setting here that is a bit too high. Okay, let's go down.
You got it.
So for the non RIOs, what's happening here is, let's see, view it this way. So this guy is going 216 this way. We're going this way. It's probably notching us. Familiar with the notch? Notch.
Yep.
So basically, you have the radar here in a nice nose here. No, it takes forever if I start speaking about. So there's the biggest filter that filters the ground is the Meld clutter filter. What happens is when you're notching, your relative speed compared to the aircraft is 0 because you're flying, you know, perpendicular. So you're not getting closer to the aircraft itself. You get closer as close the ground gets. So for the point of view of the radar, you are the ground. That's why you disappear. So what we can do is going down and then see the ground as well. So this deactivate the filter that filters the grounds off. But if you do that when you are above the ground, you're gonna see a lot of, you know, junk coming up, you know, wrong signals and stuff. So what we do is going lower than the target and then look up. Make sense?
Yep.
So now we're going down. Oh man, Iceman, I'm growing old. So in 2025, when Iceman actually manages to take us lower, then I'm gonna take the antenna up, and I'm gonna take the this way.
There you go.
There you go. It's back. And now we need to turn as well.
You got it.
But since here we are not okay. I don't remember if the target's actually turning or something. Let's see on the DDD. Right on the edge of the screen. We need a bit more.
Yeah, we need to turn more, like 40
that.
degrees.
So to our pilots, I know this is, I'm aware that this is a bit messy, but just to show off some of the issues that we can come up.
Ooh,
Hold on.
lost track.
Didn't I told him to go to 15 low? No.
No, I think you told him to go.
Go down, get down. Back.
Oh no, he leveled off, which essentially means you need to level down the antenna.
But why you leveled? I just told him. Didn't I just told him to go down? Flap. Oh, there he is.
There you go, there you go, just below the main lobe clutter.
Hold on. Turn. Quick, turn.
You got it.
So as you can see, being a Rio is a lot of fun. I'm afraid that we trashed this missile, but you know, still a lot of fun anyway. As you can see from the DDD, this straight line there, that's the Meld clutter filter. That's basically where the terrain is. There's a sort of tolerance, like I think it's 100 kilometers knots plus minus.
Yeah.
That's the tolerance basically of the filter there. We turn it off, so we see the ground itself, but we see the targets along with some other weird stuff coming up.
But basically notching it, what Karen was saying earlier, notching the radar is that you're actually going to be in between plus or minus 120 knots in relation to our aircraft, which means if we're moving forward with 400 knots and you're moving in front of us with 400 knots, exactly in that black spot in there. So the radar is not going to be able to see you because of the mess, because the filter is off. With the filter on, the radar is actually going to hide you there, because the radar itself is going to consider, hey, your ground return. So that is notching the radar.
And this is on the basically perpendicular vector. If invece, stop mixing Italian because I'm tired. If you instead you are in the same heading as us, and there is another filter that is not, we cannot do anything about it. It's the 0 Doppler filter that does a similar thing, but we cannot deactivate it. So if we have a contact that is going at the same speed in front of us, we don't see him. It's pretty annoying if you think about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, having fun, looking at the re-office.
So, and that's actually why I said in the beginning, let's go right, let's fly, let's offset him a bit more to the left, because then we're gonna come in from the side and we're actually dictating what is happening and how it's happening.
And this is exactly why I didn't do it.
Why?
I'm showing different things and see how the process works. Since we have pilots that are interesting, maybe later I'm going to do reels as well. See where the problems are, how to overcome them, how to change your geometry as well in order to solve these issues. You know,
that's why I didn't
because
want to do it.
this is not a mission, so this is like just spending a bit of time chatting together. So the idea is showing it as much as possible. In fact, what I'm gonna do now is switching to STT pools, locking them up, because probably our Phoenix is trashed by now, and see if we can get at least the other one, or at least one of the two, because this is another option that we can have. Because at the moment we are in IPRF, but the F1409 has the low PRF mode as well, which is pretty good for ground mapping, very basic ground mapping, for example. But if you're looking for a ship, it's amazing for these kind of things.
Actually, PRF is dictated by the range.
Is it?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
as far as I was actually reading about it, is that the pulse repetition frequency actually increases or decreases with the range selection on top of the DDD.
Ah, that's what we. Ah, yeah. Okay, of course. No, I thought you meant like the difference between Doppler, pulse mode and pulse Doppler mode.
No,
no, yeah.
Just the PRF itself.
Yeah, and also when you're in STT, you can use the aspect as well to switch the center out. I mean, there are a million other settings here. Some of them are not implemented. That you can actually you have to study, learn, be very proficient with them. Joking, but yeah, there are a lot of little tricks that the Rio can do. So let's reset a little bit.
Yeah, I guess the worst part is actually understanding the DDD itself, because all those lines and dashes on the DDD, they represent everything, but each mode has it differently, and there isn't a lot of data about it on the internet.
And because it's missing a lot of stuff.
And some of it is actually wrong.
Yeah, and there should be a lot of stuff in the. You should have all the jammer noise in the bottom. You should have all an whole series of other details on the DDD around more information, because there's literally nothing at the moment. You just see the azimuth basically in the closure, and that's pretty much it. But you should have way more information. At the moment, it's just a way to.
Actually.
Yep. Go ahead.
Actually, it depends on which mode it is. One thing is the closure rate, another one is the distance. It depends on the mode.
Yeah, when we're gonna switch to pools, we're gonna see the distance, or even in IFF you see the distance. That's why IFF sometimes is pretty handy. But there should be, on top of the board itself or how the scale means, there should be a lot of more information that are not implemented yet, which is, at some point hopefully. So what we're gonna do is setting back the filter and switch our control here and go to pools. So this is the ground itself. We are looking down. We don't want to look down actually. We're gonna take the range down. Hold on. What was the altitude of the targets? I don't remember, because normally I said
22.
22. Okay, then it was pretty fine.
Yeah, I think that was the last one.
Yeah,
19 or 22. There he is.
And now I'm in pulse mode. 45 to the left.
I'm on it.
And at some point we're gonna see something interesting. Keep turning.
So right now, as long as you're below him, there's no way in hell that he can break this lock.
Exactly. No, it's amazing. This is unbreakable. Okay, there we go. So this is interesting. This is the TCS. So you can see, you can do a VID of the target. You can actually slave it to the radar, or vice versa, slave the radar to this one. So when we are in STT, because in the future I'm afraid that we are going to use STT a bit more, the Turquoise can, because they're going to change how the WCS works. If we go in the front, you see the T the inverted T. So when the Rio says center the T, means in the circle, which is the ASC, which represents the probability, you're gonna turn to put in the middle. Make sense? But
Yep.
how close are we? 28. 28.
Right. Can you show me again in the front seat?
Yep.
Which? Oh yeah, I see the inverted T. So basically, place the inverted T because that is called leading the target. Yeah,
exactly.
I get it.
That's the lead of the target. So in order to maximize the probability, you don't want the missile to turn a bit too much, left, right, up, down, because it's gonna waste energy. I mean, it's a Phoenix. It's not a big deal for it, but you know, it's a good practice. It's a good practice anyway. So what we're gonna do now is just
User joined your channel.
Fox 3. And we're gonna crank a little bit to the right again.
You got it.
And we can actually follow. Now it's gonna out of the. And we crank. So on the DDD, for example, you see a bit more information. You can see, for example, the minimum range, maximum range, not in the scale of 50 miles, but you have a bit more information, but still is nowhere near the amount of information that you should see. Technically, we are so close that I may. There it goes. I actually have tally on the two targets.
Same.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I can see them in the stream.
So, how long is it taking?
I should go bang about now.
So let's say the missile went Pitbull, we should have called Skate, but in this case we're gonna call Banzai. 30.
Roger that.
And we're going in. No, actually, this is not really making many sense. Because we are just going away from the timeline. Let's reset. We got him.
You got it.
You got him. Let's say the missile went timeout, Pitbull, whatever the condition that it was, and we skate southeast. So basically, what we're doing is going on, and we're gonna slow down a little bit. We're gonna climb back. Yeah, it went up. Unfortunately, it came out a bit messier than I expected. Hopefully, I preferred to have something more done a bit better, but yeah, came a bit messy. Anyway, so once
User disconnected from your channel.
we lost someone. Who's dead?
Yeah, Inflames had to run.
Okay, and we're back. We're resetting. So the flow should have been crank. So Fox 3, crank east, or crank right. You can go left, right if you prefer. Pitbull, at the point skate east, and you just leave the area. So target gone. We don't have much something else to do. And yeah, we can test actually what you were asking before. What you do with maneuvering targets. So let's say that the other bomber doesn't exist. And if I call Magic Spectre 1 picture, what would be the new picture?
The new picture would be
User disconnected from your channel.
Spectre 1 Magic Bullseye 350 for 120. Angels 25,000 feet hostile.
Yeah, pretty much. You can drop the feet. Yeah, we don't know the altitude now. We are just making it up. But
yeah,
that's
it's 2, so basically it's in between 15 to 25.
Yeah, and put back the radar. Let's see where are they? 20,000, yeah. 20,000 hostile. Okay, let's say They say Spectre 1 magic target single group. What do we say? Let's say that there's an whole layer of labeling that I haven't gone into. Let's say let's call this group single group out of simplicity. So let's say we are tasked to actually go and get it. And these are maneuvering targets, so what do you want to do?
As an AVAX or something else?
Sorry?
You said what do you want to do? In which turn?
Okay, let's say you get the Spectre 1 magic commit target single group. And maybe the BRAA 1... Oh, where on earth this one? Oh, Bullseye. Bullseye will be better. Yeah. Bullseye 3, 4, 5, 120 miles, 20,000 hot hostile. So we are not targeting, but we receive the target. So we have to commit on this target here. How would you play with the geometry? Or anyone else, even Furface or someone else? This is what we're asking about maneuvering targets.
I would actually go I would at least go his altitude and go fast. Place him inside my radar dish, somewhere on the edge. Same as before.
Okay, so shall we turn north? So we know the vector. Something that I want to talk about is the fact that we have to assess every time we do something. So RWR, clean, we're good. We can do basically whatever we want. Situation changes a little bit where we are spied, or something comes up. But at the moment we are naked. What was the situation? Anyway, there's nothing on the RWR. We're good. We're happy. Yeah, we can turn north. What we can do? Again, we are not considering any constraint about like a specific area that we have to cover, so we can just do that. Alright.
You got it.
In this case I would go straight for the intercept, so rather than go northeast. Well, it depends actually how long Iceman takes to turn. So you want to match altitude as well, which makes sense. Although normally I always prefer being 25 at least, but it's not a big deal.
Copy.
Just below marking point, eh?
Yeah, again, these are all considerations that you do in a mission, that we are just, making up situations. And meanwhile, you should always have Magic, Spectre 1-1, single group, Bullseye, 3, 4, 5, 130 miles, 20,000 hot hostile. So we should have all these additional calls every time. So this time, if Iceman is good enough, otherwise I have to do it myself. Let's do the normal timeline I should be. So we can employ a 35 crank, and then we'll see. We can do. I draw a couple of scenarios. We can do skate, and then reset, turn, and assess. So basically reset, go back to 40 miles and turn. Otherwise we can skate, assess, turn in again, and employ again. But again, these are just 2 out of the 500,000 possibilities that we have. So Magic Spectre, Spectre 1 commit. We can call BRAA this time, or we can call Bullseye again. Why is it not giving me? Hey. Oh, there you go. Easier when you just lock it up. Bullseye 350, 100 miles, 20,000. Since there are no other groups around, you can actually correlate. Again, I don't know if in real life there is a certain space they have to be aware of. But yeah, we can actually correlate right now. And okay, getting closer. Now, if you want to employ normally, you should do 45 miles target, 40 miles Meld, 35 employment. The problem of the timeline is this: technically it should take 30 seconds to do each step, because if you consider to aircraft going 600 knots per hour. I think it was by the calculation. It takes around 30 seconds to do each step. In reality, time flies. It takes much lower time. Oh, actually, that's the impression. So I don't know the range where we are at the moment. 57. We have a lot of space anyway, but we should plan ahead. So we already said we want to skate. Where do we want to skate? I would skate right, probably. What do you think?
Yes, since you're head on, kinda doesn't really matter, unless you're gonna do the additional offset closer in.
Yeah, what I was planning to do is turning 10 degrees to the right and then correct right, just to avoid the fact that I'm going basically in front of his face. That's why I checked the range. We're still 57 miles. We still have enough space to turn a little bit, get this little bit of lateral separation, and then we can turn in. Actually, probably we can turn 35 degrees to the right. Or do you suggest something different?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna fly directly towards him, it kinda really doesn't matter if you skate left or right, but skate is gonna be dictated by the offset anyway.
True, but that's why I said in the beginning we want to introduce a bit of offset. So I know they have a range. The guys, the hostiles are not really going into my direction. They already have a little bit of offset to the left, so we'll go right a little bit more.
Okay.
Would you agree?
So yeah, the skate right.
So I'm gonna slow down the time as well a little bit. No, not this way. Not this. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And I would accelerate as well. Oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So 53 miles. We can call target even right now, but I would wait a little bit.
Yeah. So essentially it would be Magic Spectre 1-1 targeting group 337 for correction 234 for what's his range?
No, careful. 234 is their magnetic course. What you want to see is actually on the HSI, or whatever it's called, because it's not the HSI, I think. So that's they are going to 334. But from my point of view,
oh yeah, that's magnetic core. Yeah, sorry, magnetic bearing was the correct one, which was the first one that I said. Yeah. So that's his course essentially.
No, even that is wrong. Let me show you. That's the 328. Okay, this is matching a little bit because we are going north, ish. But otherwise, it would be wrong, because it's not considering. So the bearing 0 is not north. It's the nose of the aircraft.
It's the nose, yeah, I know.
So when you do the BRAA, you cannot use this value. You can use this value to a wingman, for example, because they
because it's off my aircraft. Yeah.
So yeah, what I do normally is checking the HSI. So 320, I guess. 330, 320, maybe 330.
So yeah, it would be Magic Spectre 1-1 targeted single group bearing 328 for 15 miles, Angels 20,000.
Yeah, it's 328 in this case, but not always. Keep in mind that. So don't use that number. Pretend that the number doesn't exist. Normally I eyeball from the HSI, so from here.
Yeah, that would be like 330 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are tolerances, but who cares? So let's say Magic Spectre 1 targeted 3 single group 330, 50 miles, 20,000. And now if we look from here, now we have the lateral separation. Now we can probably turn into them again. Just because we're gonna employ fairly No, not really fairly soon because I slow down time. Okay. Okay, a bit better. Oh, actually, let's see this one. You can turn into them, or you can stay where you are. What do you do? Probably 30 degrees were a bit too much. There's a bit too much of lateral separation now.
Yeah, that's definitely too much of the separation because we're just gonna fly past each other. But
yeah, no, it's too much. 30 degrees was
again,
too much.
I want to have a leading shot, you know.
Yeah, so we can do turn basically northwest.
Yep.
Okay, let's do that. Slowing down time. Bloody hell. Oh. Oh man. It's been like 8 weeks that I'm coughing non-stop. So the problem is that...
Hello, Corona!
this is the funny thing, is not the coronavirus. It's a bloody like bronchitis I got ages ago. Anyway. 45. So Iceman turns very slowly, probably way too slowly than I want.
Also have a time slowed down in the sim.
Yeah, but because we are getting very close. Okay, let's slow down at like a 42. Okay. Now it looks a bit better. Iceman, come on, Iceman. Okay, so I would do... Let's go Buster. And Spectre. Meld. Let's see what we see. Okay, we got them. I have a bit of rubbish on my screen. I need... Yeah, with the pilot is much easier with this bloody thing. Why do I have all this rubbish on my... It's probably I'm still turning. Yeah, I mean, with a pilot would have been much better. Okay, 35 miles, Fox 3, and crank right. 45. Fuck, you know. I love the missile here. Yeah, probably we should have set it up a little bit better. I mean, Iceman, come on, turn. Okay, well, this is not really working because Iceman is taking bloody half an hour to do a turn. Because we should have been basically off by now.
Yeah, onto the edge of the antenna track.
Yeah, but this guy is taking bloody 1 year. Okay, spike 25. I mean, it's not too late yet. He's 21, the outer. I need a bit more degrees.
Copy
Again,
that.
I didn't want to involve anyone to do this thing because it takes ages and it's pretty tedious for the pilots. We can probably go out now. Okay, out to the east. Or to the southeast.
You got it.
Now we go out. Tell him back. Again, technically, if this thing was a bit faster, now we would have been already off, going away. But what we did is going in, get some separation, fire the missile, turn around, go back. Being every time in a fairly safe situation. Again, if
Yeah, quite a lot of distance, so to say.
But the point is, we didn't go straight. Even if the other hostile turns into us, we still have all the space in the world to turn away. Look, I don't want to do that because I don't even know if I
We have
set them up.
a Bandit, BRAA
Okay,
310,
sure.
21 miles.
How do I turn you off? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. But there's a limit to everything. Yeah, it wasn't that hard, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. So, according to the doctrine, you can reset to 30 miles. And when you reset, you should also always put back the radar in RSS mode. But I haven't worked the correct setting for the F14 yet. You should set at 30 miles because it takes like 5 miles to turn around. Then you meld at 25 and you employ at 20. But since you are 14, normally I did some tests again. You can turn at 40 miles, assess, meld at 35, employ at 30. And basically you can create a loop, sort of a loop.
Yeah.
So what's the... no, I need this range actually. Are we gonna get... no. Oh no, we got it. Yeah, 28 miles. If I keep it hooked, probably I can carry on like forever, isn't it? Slow down a little bit.
Copy.
Yeah, I'm gonna speed it up a bit. 30 miles. I mean, he's not really interested in us, or is it? Is he turning right now?
I think he's doing lead pursuit. Nah.
Sorry, just. So this situation is a bit different because he's chasing us, so we need more distance.
You're not. Yeah, he is chasing us. He is doing a lead.
He's not really chasing. I don't remember how I set him out. Literally did the mission, you know, like randomly because I thought it was funnier for me as well. But ideally, we want to turn around 40 miles. Probably is better 45 because we have to turn into it. Okay. We can turn. How do we want to turn? We turn to the left. The angle is not really good for an engagement because we have to. Basically, we're almost notching. We can turn to the right, but if we turn to the right, we get close very fast. But I think is the correct one. What do you suggest?
Say again.
We can either turn to the left or turn to the right.
I would go with the right.
Yeah, same. The problem is that the timeline, I mean, it's gonna get be
Shorter.
quite short. Yeah, so we have to employ fairly quickly.
Yeah, then if you want to extend the timeline, just go left.
Yeah, but then the angle
Come in
is
from
not
the
really
flank
amazing.
again.
Yeah, it's not really amazing.
Yeah.
So we can turn right. Probably I need to jump on the front seat again to do the bloody turn because this guy is taking ages. Okay, so. Oh man, come on.
Copy that.
Come on. I mean, what? Okay, I want a real life pilot for once. What angle is he banking? Oops.
I would say that's a 40 or 45 degree bank.
Yeah, well, I'm going gold. No, don't know about you. But the joystick is in like an impossible position to do. Aha.
Oh, blackout.
I'm a genius. Now I was saying the joystick is in like an impossible position to do pilot stuff. Come on. Come on, you're alive. Yeah. He's fine, he's fine. See, perfect, Meld. Spike. So Spectre, Meld. Turn.
Got him.
The range is 30 miles, 35. I FF him because it's always a good thing to do. Hostile. And
Oh, what is the speed?
30 to the left.
You got it.
Ah, no, that's too much, No, probably it's not too much.
No, I think it's gonna live.
Yeah. Hold on. No, stop.
Copy.
Ah, what I did.
Roger that. Roger that.
I'm
5
good.
degrees right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Although probably I can Ranger 21. It's probably notching by now because he's turning. Aha, there you go.
No, you're just on the edge of it.
Is it? I see him here.
Turn right.
Easier said than done.
Roger that.
Damaged, splashed.
Yeah, well, we have the pitbull. What we can simply do is okay, pitbull. Spec 1 pitbull abort or out to the south. Out south. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Do you know how to loft the sparrow?
No.
No? Okay, let's do that and then we just close it up. Why is not... No. I have an encoder to do the mouse things, but... What's the range? 60... what's the key to launch a missile? I have no idea.
Could be space, I don't know.
Well, we have two. Sorry, but my joystick is in a... So, is a joystick set to be between the legs, and I'm using with the left, and I'm right-handed, and it's behind my shoulder, basically. So it's fine if I use it as the NCU, but piloting in this position is impossible. Yeah, so what's the range here? It's a long way to go.
56.
It's a long way to go. But we can speed up. How did I lost it? This is the moment where we go.
Yeah, he broke a lock. Oh, you're climbing as hell.
Am I?
So he's way below you now.
Oh yeah. Well, come on, give me. I see you're here. Aha. Yeah, pulsar is not gonna fail me. What's the range? 32. So 2 loft. No, I think he's turning. Shouldn't be a problem. Just have to basically point in your nose eye. I think 20. I remember. Is it 30? Oh, it's working. See, he goes.
User joined your channel.
Crazy. The TCS is actually tracking.
Yes,
What?
Is an it source, so it actually works.
Never seen that before, but okay.
And as soon as I can stabilize this bloody thing, okay, this is the way to stabilize things normally. Where's my missile? See, yeah, it's lofted.
Oh,
And
so
now it's going
essentially
down.
just.
Yeah, it's working as a, see, 47,000. Well, I have no idea if I can keep the lock while I'm off the...
I'd say it's tracking.
Yeah, it looks fine. So the problem is this missile is just the fact it's low because it's not really bleeding any, I mean, a lot of energy at all. It's a pretty good missile. Heavy and big.
Boom.
And we were at what, 33 miles? Not bad, isn't
Something
it?
like it.
Yeah, not bad, isn't it? Cool. TAC view. I don't know if I can share the TAC view on Discord actually.
Yeah, you can just run the tech view, just run it through while we are watching.
I can, well, I can share it on something. Well, 1 megabyte and 5, so I can probably drag and drop here. I have the advanced one, so technically I can host. But yeah, probably it's faster if we just go ahead this way. Let me know when you're set.
No, where did you put it?
Oh
yeah, I see
rear
it.
channel. Rear channel.
Yeah, opened.
Can I stream TAC view? No, I don't think so.
Why wouldn't you? You can stream a screen on the Discord, so it's just another window.
I would. How do we do it? Stop streaming. Close this, yes. Let's see. Go live. TAC view. Neat. I didn't know that. Cool. Wow. Neat. Right. So, well, we spent like ages doing the introduction. So the first missile that we fired, yeah, the aspect. I mean, we should have turned into them to just do for the AIC thing, the putting the centering the T, but we didn't really do it because we should have turned into them, fired, and then turned away. But the first one was, yeah, was trashed because you told me to go right. I did on purpose to go left. Okay, so yeah, but these first two, the first two Phoenix, basically we can just scratch them because it was the old theory. This is the pulse. Well, we went for pulse. I'm checking at 4 minutes 50. So the interesting part comes with the MiGs. Okay, let's go 4 minutes 50. How do I? Bit better. So around 4 minutes 50 is when we spot the targets. Basically, we decided to turn rather than do what we do all the time, which is basically charging straight ahead. So we get a bit of lateral separation and turn into them. We fired the first one pretty far. What was the distance? 31.
Shift right click on the MiG.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, we were a bit. Was a bit late because I was showing probably the FF. I don't remember what I was doing.
Yeah.
The angle was not really amazing for another fact, which is the fact that the missiles don't lead too much at all. Actually, here.
No, you actually led it, and that's why she didn't correct much.
Yeah, I mean I'm leading, but the missile itself doesn't really lead. It just goes.
Yeah.
Over. This is a big issue with the missiles in DCS because they waste a shit ton of amount of energy. And yeah, something that probably could have done a bit better is checking for the notch. Because yeah, I was basically almost notching them, so probably the angle should have been a bit different than that. But yeah, pretty safe and sound. So instead of charging straight away, we got a bit of angle in order to maneuver, and then we cranked away. Again, there's the problem is Iceman that makes these bloody turns unbearable because
yeah, he takes his time.
Yeah, so basically what happened after the turn is basically that nothing happened at all. Because if you look at attack view at 22 minutes in, so 4:52, if you see the trail, it seems that basically nothing happened. But technically, with a tighter turn, we should have gone more to the right and then turn to the left.
Yeah.
But Iceman, yeah, that's why later I just jumped into the seat because it is unbearable. So basically, we did this maneuver ideally for a reason, but with no result at all because of the radius. With a real pilot, would have been much better. So that it was moving to the right, then turning to the left, changing the angle, and then turning in. So yeah, not really amazing. And this crank is tedious. If you look at the 5 minutes 53, I mean, look at the radius of the turn of the crank, and to go out, impossible. So that's why I just took control myself because it's nope, it's a big no way. So we turned cold. We decided to set the range at around 40 miles. And this is where we have options. So what we used to do is just change it straight, and then what you do, you run out of options. So we built on paper a bit of lateral separation. Didn't work because of the ranges of bloody Iceman. We turn in, employed skate, and then we were building more space. Enough space to turn in. Again, I did it manually because otherwise it was impossible to do. And according again to the doctrine, should be you turn at 30, meld at 25, you employ again at 20. But it works pretty nice with the 40 turn, even if the target is cold. Although it was fairly slow. So we employed at what distance?
43, 45.
Yeah, well, it's pretty okay. I mean, the missile had a lot of energy. Crank to the left. Again, this turning radius was a bit nope. Although we couldn't do it too much later because the target defended to the right. But again, we're still winning because we weren't spiked. The target was on defensive, so technically we could have banzaied in. But yeah, target hit and that's it. So if you check at 50125 with the missile still flying, if you go out a door, which is 21 miles, you have enough space to do a banzai as well. Or short skate, you can still do a short skate. Try it. You turn in, you fire at 20, you go out at 14. You need a pilot because with Iceman, with his turning radius, is just no. It's just a big no. It doesn't really work. But again, hit the target. And the crank, end of the day, wasn't really that bad. Again, because the bandit was defending to the left. Is there a way to check the angle between the two? I I see the bearing, so 342. I'm checking 5 minutes once, 050136 now. But I want to see if there's the angle between the two. Ah, aspect angle. Easy, see? 083, right. 83? Probably because... No. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for then. Yeah, because this is the... I'm looking for the ATA line of sight. No. Should be this one then. The relative bearing. This is basically... yeah, this relative bearing is exactly what the F14 displays on the bearing. So in this case, the bearing reading of the TID would have said 53 and 3. And remember that the crank, in order to be effective, must be at least 50 degrees. So in this case, was pretty spot on.
Mm.
I mean, nothing fancy. Employed and then out, and then we did the majestic numbers with the AIM-7. I'm looking at 0504. If you look at the missile, he's really lofting. Whoa, magic. Not that much actually. Probably because we were very high and the target was very low. If you do it when you are like, I don't know, both targets same altitude, you see that the lofts much higher.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. The AIM-7 is low. It's a slow missile, but gets up to easily 35. Of course, I guess the maneuvering target, blah 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 blah. The range is shorter, but it works. Okay. Any question?
Not from me.
Oh, you're still there.
Yes.
He just fell asleep. He was bored.
Yeah, maybe the annoyed for the fact that the turning with Iceman doesn't make any sense. And well, the first engagement we did a bit of like show off with the features and stuff. The second one was fine. Again, the turning at 0450 was really poor. It looked a bit wider from in cockpit, but no, we should have gone up to like 10 miles more to the right. No, 3-4 miles more to the right. But yeah, we got the idea. Important is the idea. You go in, you fire, you go out, you turn, you get space, you turn, you fire, you go out, and then eventually you loft an AIM-7 to a friendly. Cool. If you have any question, I'm gonna close it because how long did we carry on?
No, it's
2.5 hours.
Not bad, not bad. Thank God we didn't go into the details of like zero Doppler filter, mail lobe clutter, side lobe clutter. But Forface does know. He knows already these things. Because he's our radar guy.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it wasn't really prepared, but hopefully you got a general idea.
Yeah, certainly. It's hopefully get to put it into practice fairly soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can arrange,
Same here.
no, if we can arrange maybe afternoon, we can do a couple of tests. Even I guess the AI, but with a real life pilot. Not sorry, real life pilot with a human pilot, because the turns that Iceman made, no way, the big no. But again, I couldn't ask anyone to sit in the front seat for 2.5 hours, looking at the screen and doing nothing else.
Why not?
Are you volunteering for next time? Next time I'm gonna make like 5 hours and you're gonna sit there the whole time. Well, anyway, hopefully you got a bit of idea how it works. Or how I think it works. Nice.
Yeah, I just wish the goddamn cables would have already arrived so I can assemble my cockpit.
Nice. Yeah, I need to take the dust off from mine instead. I have like a centimeter of dust on mine. Yeah, well, you know, happens. Behold the Lofting AIM-7. Right. Okay, thanks for spending the afternoon with me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Karen. Much appreciated.
No worries. I'm gonna share the YouTube link later when YouTube digests it. Can't speak anymore. Anyway, right, cool. See you next time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Disconnected.